Was not a great night in Minnesota sports. Not only do the Wild lose, but the Twins get shut out. In fact, they nearly get no hit by Justin Verlander and the Astros. In addition, Carlos Correa with that hand injury goes on the IL, as does Chris Paddock, the pitcher, with an elbow injury, and it sounds like Paddock could be out for a while. So, Ron, the Twins just finished up their latest 10-game stretch. They went 7-3 in that stretch, and through 30 games, they're 18-12, but are hard times on the way as injuries continue to pile up?
I'd say in this series and the next one. So the next two series, you got the Guardians 14-14. I think they're 15-14 now. And then you got the when I first looked at this number, you got the 18-11 Astros are now 19-11. So this is the thing about the Astros. I already said they were good. I said this was going to be a tough one. With injuries, it makes it even tougher. So I have a feeling this is going to be a 1-2 series. Twins are going to at least get one, maybe. They might get swept, though. It can happen. But like Audrey Martin talked about, it's about the grade, the GPA. Your early GPA is going to help you. So their early start is going to help them as they falter. These next two series, the ones I think, they're going to – so even if they were to go 0-6 or 1-5, I still think it's okay. And I think, when you look at the Athletics, you look at the Royals, you look at the Tigers, they have a 5-game stretch with the Tigers. I think they'll be fine now, but this next two, they're going to struggle. No doubt about it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But if they can get healthy by that Tigers, that's 5 games. I think they can go 4-1 against the Tigers. So yes, injuries are going to matter, but I wouldn't force guys back in a series that you probably weren't going to win anyway. Like, I don't think they were going to beat the Astros healthy. I personally don't think that. Because when you look at the bullpen, like they've been doing well, but without help with the bats, it's tough. They don't have the pitchers that can just completely dominate a game without any bats, like meaning it's going to be a 1-0 game and they just know it's going to be a duel. Like that's not how this team is built. This team is built off energy from the batters, from Buxton, from Correa. They're built off energy from, big plays made on the field from Correa and Buxton as well. I said they were going to falter in this one, but that was just me. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I feel like they're going to come back to earth a little bit. They've been winning a lot of one-run games, which is tough to sustain. Got to get Arise back in the lineup. He's on the COVID list. Got to get Buxton back in the lineup. When you have those two at the top, those are the table setters. Those are the guys that get on base. Buxton obviously can leave the yard with the bat. You got to get a couple of those hitters back in the lineup, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yesterday's Tom Brady news got me thinking, who is your favorite NFL broadcast crew right now? I know some of them are changing around. You've got Buck Napeman going to ESPN. You've got Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit now on Thursday nights. But, I mean, it can be, the top crew or the bottom crew on the network, whatever you want. Who's your favorite NFL crew right now?
Well, first off, I want to say Tom Brady, we just found out why. He's rumored to get a 10-year, $375 million contract, which in TV, it's pretty much guaranteed as long as you don't kill somebody. And so we know Tom Brady's a great off the field person. He's a great family man. He likes his tequila. He likes his avocado tequila. But this is the thing about Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady's joke to Matt Stafford, like, hey, make sure you eat lunch before you drink. Learn from me, because we know Tom Brady is a health nut. And we all know, though, if you're going to really pile on the drinks, you got to have some substance in your stomach. I'm a 72% vegetarian, but I do know if me and my wife are going out or weekend, I'm going to grab me a chicken sandwich. I'm going to grab something with a little bit more to it than just a salad, because that's not going to do well once you have a couple drinks. In Mexico, same thing. Whenever we're in Mexico for vacation, I always make sure to have a couple chicken tacos at the beach before we go to dinner, because I know my father-in-law and after, we love to have an old fashioned sitting out on the deck watching the moon. So, but looking at Tom Brady's contract, looking at all these crews out there, so get that out the way. My favorite crew is a dark horse. I like Eli and Peyton Manning. Like, I love Peyton Manning. One, I was actually there for 2 off seasons as an assistant coach. So I got to watch Peyton live. I got to listen to his dry humor. Like, the dude, that's him. Like, he wasn't getting paid to make jokes in practice. He wasn't getting paid to make jokes, in the meeting room. That was just Peyton. That's what he did. And so when you think about him now, him and Eli, it's just their personalities. I love it. Like I loved him on Saturday Night Live when he threw the ball at the kid who didn't run the right route, because that's
So
really what
good.
he's done. He did that to Ben Utek in practice. Like Ben Utek didn't know the hot route, and he hit Ben Utek in the back of the head, and then was like, hey, if you put down the guitar, maybe then you could pick up your playbook. Because we all know Ben Utek likes to sing the national anthem, and he does albums, and he's a singer, and he's a former Gopher. But that was one of my best stories I ever heard when I heard about that. Like Peyton Manning and then the whole idiot kicker thing. Like that's Peyton. Like that's who Peyton is. So I love the Peyton Eli. I personally I like Louis Riddick. I like that crew. But I do like Peyton and Eli. Like that's the one I go with. If I have to go like straight Booth, it's tough. Like that, it's so many good ones out there. But I think my love to hate is like Romo, just because I'm looking forward to like him getting bashed on Twitter. But no, I'm gonna go with Peyton and Eli. Like that's the ones I like.
Yeah, they're so entertaining. And, they actually are duplicating that concept for the PGA Championship next week. They're going to have Buck. They're going to have a bunch of guests coming in, including Peyton and Eli, but a bunch of golf-related guests, same kind of style, which will be a lot of fun. I think
you got to do it. The ratings are dropping if Tiger Woods isn't playing. So
yeah, and we still got to see about Mickelson too. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm actually a big Buck guy. I know a lot of people aren't. I respect what he's done the last decade or so. I think he's had an amazing stretch. I'm also a big Ian Eagle and Charles Davis fan.
I like Charles Davis. I like that one.
Yeah, he's really good as an analyst. We're going to do a lot of this summer because we got to fill the sports void when the Wild are out. So we're going to do Vikings question of the day. Today, my question for you: what type of workload do you expect Kene Nwangwu to get out of the backfield this year?
So this is the tough thing. Kene is an extremely explosive athlete. He's extremely explosive, one of the fastest on the team, if not the fastest. I know Dan Chisena was also a track guy, so that I love to see that race. The tough thing about this offense is not going to be a run first Mike Zimmer. I have to run the ball. I have to run the ball. I have to run the ball. This is going to be, we're going to run organically called offensive plays, which means I'm going to feel the game out. Kevin O'Connell didn't feel the game out in LA. That was Sean McVay. So it's going to be a learning curve for O'Connell. I mean, he heard McVay in the headset. He heard, he was with him. That's his right-hand man. He's with the quarterback with Matthew Stafford. So he's getting him going. He's learning from Stafford as well, because Stafford knew a lot more about football than Jared Goff. But he was with Kirk before in Washington, so they have a little bit of rapport there. But this is the thing. Kene Nwangwu is a third running back, unless he can upseat one of these running backs and move up into the 2 spot, because he's not going to get Dalvin Cook out of there unless he's traded, cut, or hurt. I don't know if there's a lot of like work for a third running back in this type of offense that throws the ball. I do think, though, like you look at jet sweeps, you look at some of the gimmick plays that the Rams had. I think they're gonna draw up some plays. The problem is, though, you can't just bring them in to do gimmicks, because then it's coming. So I think they're gonna have to give him a healthy dose of some plays just to run regular plays with him. If he's like Robert Smith said, empty him out, because he can run. And if you get a backer on him, running out route, let him, run the ball and, get up catch in space. So that's kind of my workload for him. I think he's going to be a gimmick back. I think he's going to be a gadget guy. Definitely kickoff return. I don't know if he can catch punts, because he didn't do it last year. I don't think he did much of it in college, but definitely kick return guy. But again, never overlook the fact that a receiver that can return punts can come in and catch kickoffs. And now you're like, do we need to dress a third receiver? He's going to have to be heavy special teams guy. He's going to have to go down, and make tackles, maybe play gunner. And when you're that fast and that strong, all you have to do is run by a couple of defensive backs. I mean, maybe put them at gunner. Like there's some things where I think, they're going to have to get unique and cute with this 46, 49 man roster to figure out who's going to dress, with that 53, who are we going to dress on Sunday mornings, Monday nights, Thursday nights. That's where I think Kene is going to fit in. He's going to be a gimmick guy. So his workload, I'm going to say, offensively, probably at this point, I'm saying 10%. 10% of the offensive plays, he's going to have some gimmicks though in there.
Yeah, so my only thought on that is that, yes, Dalvin Cook's going to be the workhorse, which doesn't leave a lot else, but I look at what the Rams did, which O'Connell was a part of a couple of years ago. You didn't know if it was going to be Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, or Malcolm Brown. It was more matchup based, right? So I could see them deciding a couple weeks, like if there's a team that, is susceptible in the screen game, if they decide, okay, this is going to be a Nwangwu game, Madison takes a back seat, and Kene becomes the number 2 for a game here and there.
I see that. Okay.
And
I thought you were about to say number 1. I was about to say no. The Rams don't have a Dalvin Cook. They would clamor for Dalvin Cook. But yeah, no, I do like that. I do like that take. I could see that. Yeah, and Madison too. Like people are saying, because this is what people are thinking: get rid of Cook, make Madison 1. I don't think so. I think you keep Cook. I think Madison, if he's looking for a new contract, he has to move on. Kene becomes your 2 in a year or 2, and so I do like that one. Kene was extremely explosive. But we do know Madison can get you 100 yards if he's the starting back. So that's why coaches get paid a lot of money. There's some tough decisions out there to be made.
And Ty Chandler, the draft pick, 5th round, I think, he'll probably be in the mix as well.